If you want to understand Victorian civilization, read Tennyson. If you want to understand Tennyson, read In Memoriam A.H.H. This may be an exaggeration, but it is the exaggeration of a vital truth. There cannot be a better introduction to Victorian life, Victorian literature, than through Tennyson. And there cannot be a better introduction to Tennyson than through In Memoriam A.H.H. Students sometimes refer to the poem as In Memoriam. In Memoriam means in memory of. In memory of does not make much sense. The real title, the title of the poem is In Memoriam A.H.H. and A.H.H. stands for Arthur Henry Hallam. So In Memoriam A.H.H. means in memory of Arthur Henry Hallam. When you take your examination or when you write your assignment, you must make sure that you refer to the poem as In Memoriam A.H.H. and not merely as In Memoriam. Let me speak briefly about Arthur Henry Hallam. Arthur Henry Hallam was, every schoolboy knows it, Arthur Henry Hallam was a close friend of Alfred Tennyson. He is fit to be the hero of In Memoriam A.H.H. because Hallam was handsome. He was well behaved. He was highly cultured. He was well read. He was highly informed. He was by nature an extrovert. He possessed a very friendly personality. He read at Cambridge along with Tennyson. And he was a member of the Apostles. He was a member of the Cambridge Apostles, the Cambridge University discussion group. And you must remember that Tennyson was also an illustrious member of the group. There existed a very deep friendship between, a very profound relationship between Hallam and Tennyson. Hallam visited the Tennyson family home, met Alfred's younger sister Emily, and fell in love with her. There is an observation in the diaries of Hallam to this effect. It's about Emily. I'm madly in love with her. I'm madly in love with her. They planned to marry. It was under these circumstances that Hallam left on a continental tour with his father. In the midst of his continental tour, Hallam suddenly fell ill in Vienna and breathed his last. The cause of death was said to be cerebral hemorrhage. It was the death of Hallam, Arthur Henry Hallam, that acted as the inspirational trigger, that resulted in the production of In Memoriam A.H.H. But In Memoriam A.H.H. would never have been the extraordinary poem it now is had it focused solely on the death, on the life of Hallam. The death of Hallam, the life of Hallam, is only the starting point for In Memoriam A.H.H., which accepts into its ambit the entire horizon of the Victorian world. And that precisely is what makes In Memoriam A.H.H. an extraordinary poem, a remarkable poem, a poem which no student of English literature can afford to ignore. Why do we say that Tennyson is a great poet? In order to answer this question effectively and comprehensively, I think one has to write a book. As I'm right now not in a position to write a book, I shall try to answer this question as briefly as possible. This is certainly one of the many answers to the question. I tell my students in literature, you have questions, you have plenty of questions, you have an infinite number of questions, and every question has a number of valid answers. Everything depends on how you put your answer, how you justify your answer, how you convince your reader, how you convince your listener regarding the validity of your answer. So why do we say that Tennyson is a great poet? Tennyson was a very meticulous and a very systematic student of literature, especially of English literature. And he absorbed from his predecessors everything that he felt was worth absorbing. As a result, he was able to develop into a very fine poet. I shall put this in more specific terms. In Tennyson, we find the dedication of Milton, the finish, the polish of Pope, the philosophical depth of Wordsworth, the verbal magic of Coleridge, the passion of Byron, the richness of Keats, the intensity, the lyrical intensity of Shelley. No doubt we say that Alfred Tennyson is a remarkable poet. And there is no better way to taste this extraordinary flavor than by reading In Memoriam A.H.H.